In our quest to unlock all the decks, we'll be playing a new round on Black Stake, so let's see what it holds for us. We skip the first blind as we get a Mega Arcana pack, trying to get a leg up because we figured that 2 tarot cards is probably better than whatever money we get out of whatever we get out of a small blind. We don't go very well. We get a gold joker and some pretty random cards, but that's okay. Getting through the big blind in the first round, just discarding down, we get a lucky full house, which gets us over the line. And the extra money from the golden joker is actually going to help out here. We go for a money card again, trying to basically increase our bottom line and go from there. Once again, discarding, trying to make a nice high scoring hand with some face cards in it to try and get some money. We'll try again to get a straight or something like that. We get one and we're on. We finished the first one, we get money, and we're onto the shop. Now here, after getting this buffoon, we have to take popcorn because we need some kind of multiplier, and we buy both of the multiplier cards in the shop, even though we hate the random one, the misprint. I also miss the fact that the misprint is eternal, which comes to bite us in the ass later on. Quick full house, and we're through the small blind. Now we want to buy Fibonacci here, but it's eternal, so we decide not to, and go for the Arcana pack instead. We haven't changed anything in the deck. Nothing cares about what kind of cards we're playing, so we're going to get rid of a pair and increase our chances of getting more pairs later down the track. I'm going to play the big blind instead of getting the money for it. Looking for odds on drawing jacks. Instead we draw a straight, which is great. Let's get that out the door. And all our multipliers win us the game. Easy done. Next up, we'll take a hermit, double our money. We're looking pretty good at $49 already. So we go Arcana pack. And we don't get a very good one. We are just probably going to go for money here. Otherwise we can try and maybe go for suits. Buying cheap rerolls is going to help us as we progress into the mid game. Take a steel card with a blue seal on it. Both enhancements that want to be kept in the hand, rather than getting like a purple that wants to get discarded on a steel card, where you want to both play it and discard it. Or keep it in hand rather and discard it. We're going to do some fishing here. There's our ace, which is great. We've got a full house, which is nice. And we get a Jupiter. But we're probably not going to be playing flushes given the shape of this deck so far and the way it's panning out. Here's a spectral card though. That's pretty tempting. We'll buy some vouchers. And then our first spectral pack of the game. And boy do we love Immolate. But there's a soul card. And we haven't unlocked all the jokers yet. So we probably want to do that. What are we going to sell? We sell popcorn. And this is where I find out that the misprint is eternal. Pretty sad. We absolutely would have sold misprint over popcorn. But now we've got Perkio, which is pretty lovely. This gold card is not discovered. Given that it's early in the run and I'm still trying to unlock jokers, I buy this anyway, just simply to put it in the roster. Get some money from Temperance, and we buy a moon. Now buying the moon is really important here because Perkio doubles it. So now we have 2 moons, and we realize that if we get the right tarot cards up into our consumable area, we can start really manufacturing, really start toying with the makeup of our deck. We can really start having a good old muck around. Like here, we change it into clubs, use the real one, and that keeps 2 empty slots up in the consumables space. I stuff this up again later too, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Mega multipliers, we get a free Pluto from the ace that we kept in hand. And here's a rare joker. 3 of a kind times 3 multiplier. Yes, please. We sell the placeholder, the gold one that we were just hanging on to. And we go for some buffoons. Probably should have gone to the buffoon pack before we sold our card, just in case we get something even better. But hard to go better than a times 3 triple. So gold joker's out. And we're either going to take the pair or the even Steven. And we decide on the even Stevens as another way to increase our chip count, given that we've got loads of multipliers now. We take the Hierophant, and we get another pretty ordinary tarot deck. But what we get to do here, use the Hierophant, and then Temperance into more money, and then Perkio creates another moon. So this means that over a few rounds, we're going to be able to turn our entire deck into clubs, which is pretty exciting. I've never played a single suited deck, so that's something that's on the list of things to kind of try out. Even though we're avoiding playing flushes because they're just a little bit brainless, we do want to play something a little bit more interesting. Change all those to clubs, and then we're going to play this flush here and see if we can't play another flush directly afterwards. We have run out of discards, so having a quick look at the deck there, we're going to play an ordinary hand just to try and get the clubs that we need. We don't find them, but for some reason we play that over the full house we had in hand. Whatever, it gets us over the line. So into the next one, some ordinary jokers. Deck's shaping up. We've got a little bit of direction, not too much direction yet. We haven't settled into a particular hand class. We haven't decided exactly where we want to go. We take flush anyway. Flushes are easy, especially given that we're thinking right now that we're going to just moon every round. And so given that, we take this King of Clubs as well. We re-roll here and we get something very interesting. We get strength, and then Perkio doubles the strength. So now we're in this situation where rather than changing everything to clubs, what if we slowly increase the strength of all of our cards and see about working our way up to 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind style deck. So we pivot a little bit here on the strength of the strength card and decide that we're going to luck our way into 2 queens here and use strength. So now we have 5 kings. And if we change these kings to clubs, we miss one, and there was a spade on the end, so that kind of hurts us. But now we're all kings, so we buy another king, and we're kind of happy with that. We've got 5 of a kind in the celestial cards as well. We take Planet X, we take another king. All right, the deck's shaping up. So now we have something like 8 kings, and we're going to go backwards. So this allows us to play Perkio more times. So we go back an ante, and we get to basically cruise for a little bit while we continue to trim and train our deck. We take an interesting choice here of strengthening the 9s. And we'll probably have those 9s till the end of the game. We don't really want an 8. We'll check for extra jokers. None of these jokers are very good. So straight in the bin. We buy another 9 here, which again is an interesting choice, which in retrospect I don't agree with at all. Given that we'd already strengthened the 2 9s, I think at this point we're trying for full houses and 4/5 of a kinds. We strengthen the 2 queens and play out our straight. And then hopefully we're going to draw a few more kings. Discard, discard, where are all the kings hiding? But here's a full house, and that's enough to get us over the line. So at this point, the deck still isn't super focused. And again, we pivot. Again, we pivot a little bit here. We realize that strength is okay for making sort of tiers, like strata of numbers. Like if you make all your 9s 10s and you have no 9s, then you don't really want to make your 8s stronger because then they'll be 9s. So instead, we go Perkio, and Perkio chooses death. So that makes the deck very interesting now. So strength is all well and good, but what if we started just copying one single card? Now we have 13 kings in the deck. So what if we just simply start turning everything into kings? Like we go left into right, turn it into a king of clubs. Now we have 4 king of clubs in our hand. Discard. Now we have 6 king of clubs in our hand. And now we're starting to cook. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a plan. So we're going to stick to this now, I think. So telescope is here, which is great. We haven't quite got to the point where our most common hand is the hand we want to be playing for the rest of the game, but we're probably going to get there pretty quickly. So we definitely don't want stone. We're having a bit of a think about strength here and whether we can use it on anything useful. But ultimately, I think the temperance is the right choice here. Just taking some extra money, keeping us flush, basically. Now, Hanged Man's a pretty interesting choice here. I think I agonize here for a moment, thinking that if we Hanged Man every turn, if we go Perkio Hanged Man, we can get our deck very small, which is cool, and there's an achievement for going 20 cards, a deck less than 20 cards. But this is not the run in which we do that. We'll do that in another run. So we're weighing up the options, trying to figure out where we'd go. We go for those two, a 2 and a 10. They're the ones we had the fewest of overall. And that gives us the best option for making full houses and what have you. But here we have another interesting choice. We're going to discard. We've got kings. There's a glass king on the end, which we think of a glass foil, which is unfortunate that it's foil as glass. But what we could do is we can give it a bonus. We could give it like bonus chips or bonus multiplier, and that would strip the glass off it. But for the moment, we just go for the 5 of a kind, and we're pretty happy about it. We go for another spectral pack here, and we've got a really cool choice. So we can Cryptid to get 2 more King of Clubs, or we can Immolate and get rid of 5 cards. Oh, and what do you know? We get to play 2 cards. So instead of doing that, we've already got a bunch of kings, so why don't we make this one king really special? And I think that's the right choice here. Cryptid sounds good, making more kings, but I think given that we're going to death every turn, why don't we death a fancy king instead of an ordinary king? So let's not make ordinary kings. Let's make wonderful. And look, here we skip. We skip that because how's it going to help? Play a new round, get a new death card, and then we've got the ace, the utility steal ace, which is great, which is going to give us a planet card every turn, which if nothing else is $1, and we like dollars. And here we're going to death our 7 away into a lucky King of Diamonds, play a 5 of a kind, which is plenty, and gets us over the line. Again, we haven't quite got the deck focused, but that's okay. Fool is on death, so we're going to use that and get a second death. And then Perkio will give us a 3rd death in a moment. Let's Hierophant, make these cards. We missed an opportunity here to strip the glass off that King of Spades, but ultimately I think it's going to work out okay. We have another opportunity here to make some cards bonuses, but instead we opted death there, which I'm not sure is the best, but we do get another death out of it by activating the Fool, so certainly not the worst thing in the world. We go into a big blind where hearts are debuffed, which really doesn't matter to us given how many clubs we've got in the deck. So we're going to keep battling. We're going to death again because we've got one of our shiny kings. And then we're going to discard a bunch of chaff. Oh, we're actually going to death again. Well, why not? We've got King of Clubs all over the show. So we play the flush 5 because it's already worth more than for the regulation 5 of a kind. We do have the telescope. We're just checking on a few things to make sure that playing these cards in this order is going to give us the best long-term results. Hermit for some free money. We buy the Overstock, which gives us more opportunities. It's like a free reroll, basically. And here we're going to take Planet X's if they're offered, but we'd prefer to get Eris. We get another death, which is fantastic. Perkio, when I first read Perkio, I was like, this card seems kind of ordinary. I'm not really sure how this would become strong, but this run itself taught me quite a lot about how this little card operates. Now we have an interesting choice here. So it's an Eternal Joker, but it's got a 2x multiplier on it if the hand contains a pair. Given that we're going to be playing lots of 4 and 5 of a kinds, seems pretty like a gimme here to buy this card, even though it is Eternal. We do get an Heiress here, which is great, so we can start leveling up Flush 5. And we'll go for a re-roll, and then into the next round with a new fresh death. Discard some junk. And then this isn't one of the issues I was concerned about, is getting to a point where we're only drawing kings. So we turn a King of Spades into a King of Clubs, which is an interesting choice. I feel like we probably could have discarded again there and made a true extra king, but we did what we did. So Fools on death. We almost certainly want to do that again. Just keep milking the machine for as long as we can. Again, we get kind of a bit stuck here, but we turn some cards into more clubs because we had an extra moon. And again, that strengthens our ability to make flush 5s. So once more, checking on the makeup of the deck, ensuring that we're set. We're worried about those jacks and whether or not we can turn them into something, trying to figure out what we've got the least of. Turn a 2 of diamonds into a King of Clubs, turn a 2 as well, and then we're going to discard our chaff. And we're back into 5 shiny kings for a nice tidy 189,000. So we're going to pick up another voucher here. And it's crucial. Planet cards in your consumable area give 1.5 times multiplier. So that one means that if we can pick up an Heiress and get it into our consumable area, then it's going to be pretty good for us. We get a pretty unlucky spectral pack. We've got Sigil for make them all the same suit, and Ouija board to make them all the same rank, but we don't want to change either of those. Now here we buy an Heiress and realize that Perkio is going to continue to copy Heiress. And we do a little bit of a dance because we realize that if they copy it every turn, then we're basically going to go infinite. It's going to be really, really hard to lose this run if planet cards give a 1.5. Basically means every planet card is a steel card, right? And we went from 189 to 481 without changing our jokers. And in that round we didn't play all shiny kings either. So already we can see the impact that those 2 Heiress are making. So here we've got a bit of a choice basically between which of these awful cards are we going to take. We upgrade some of those. We remember that we can have multipliers on top of the holographic cards. Top up our money with a Hermit. Go for a quick reroll. Think about an abstract joker for a moment and realize we can't sell the misprint. So we continue. We get a 3rd Heiress, which is just outstanding. And we've got quads here, which we just discard because honestly, who wants to play quads when you can play a flush 5? So we're going to discard a couple more times, try and find another king. And we're kind of excited by this point. I'm not sure how we can possibly lose this run. A Fool should be on the Hermit, so we can play that. But Temperance is worth more money, and then we get Temperance off the Fool. So bit of a combo there, which works. We get another Heiress to crank up the multiplier, and then the next round, another Heiress. So even though face cards are debuffed here, we can still play a flush 5. With all the cards debuffed, we still get 348,000. So out of control. The tarot cards, a little bit lame once again. We don't want diamonds. We don't really want a gold card. The High Priestess makes planet cards, so they all kind of do nothing. And I think what we do here is we realize that the gold card can strip the glass off the King of Spades. But instead we do go for a dollar. We decide a dollar is worth more than a random gold card. We've got a hearts card, a hearts joker, and something else random which doesn't work. And then once again we take the ante, we take the step backwards so that we can spend more turns building up our Perkio while we gear up to fight the final boss. Trying to figure out what our weakest jokers are. Like Scary Face is really not much chop. So let's get rid of that. This is a 4 of a kind bonus. So with Scary Face times 5 kings, you're getting 150 chips per flush 5. Whereas with the 4 of a kind, you're getting more. So, or is it the same amount? Oh, no, it's 200 chips, isn't it? So you're getting more there. And all of a sudden we're making millions. We're into 1.1 million. There's another flush, beg your pardon. There's another Planet X there, which we take. We buy the Arcana pack. Once again, looking probably at Empress to try and make some more multi-cards. And that strips the glass off that king. We'd love to get Cavendish, but we don't have enough room for the Gros Michel right now. So we go into the next round. Yet another Heiress card. We're up to 6 Heiresses now. So that multiplier is really going to add up. We've gone from 1 million in the previous round to 2.9 in this one. We sell our free planet card and cash out. We consider adding some more cards to our deck, but we've got 50 cards, so we probably don't want that. We buy a death so that we can copy some more King of Clubs, and we play the odds that Perkio is not going to copy the death. And she doesn't. She copies another Heiress for us, which is just fantastic. Discard everything, and then make another shiny King of Clubs, and do a little dance. And there we go. One hand only, didn't even consider it. We buy the grabber. We're eventually going to run out of gas, so we need to be able to play more hands if we can. We've now reached the point 2 where flush 5 is our most common hand, and so there will be an Heiress in every Celestial deck that we buy. Now we love the playing card, but unfortunately we don't have any uncommons, we don't have room for it, so we just leave those fantastic jokers on the chopping block. Discard looking for King of Clubs, just keep on fishing. We find a bunch of them, including some of the ones we've added multipliers to. So this should be a pretty tasty score here. Given we've got 8 Heiress now, we're up to 6.5 million. And we're loving life. Just loving it. Look at us go. Here's into another Arcana card, into another Arcana pack. And once again, we only have the choice of Temperance. So we decide to gamble and we improve our Eternal Joker, which is just a free roll. It's just fantastic. The Wheel of Fortune's only a 1 in 4, but if you keep on doing it, you're bound to win eventually. Once again, a flush 5 off 9 Heiresses. We're up to 9 million now. And we're starting to seriously think that we might get the 100 million achievement in this run, which would just be spectacular. We've got another Immolate to tempt us against Decrypted. We could make more kings. We could absolutely make more kings, but why not make our decks smaller? Which effectively gives us more kings anyway, by making the average number of kings in the deck go up by destroying cards, even if some of the destroyed cards are kings. We Emperor into Temperance, which is a bit lucky, get some more money, and we get a negative Joker. 150 chips if played card has 4 of played hand is 4 of a kind. So that's great. That's a freebie again because it's negative. So it just fits really, really nicely into the deck. And I thought that the red 4 of a kind Joker was chips, but it's not. It's a multiplier. So we've got a good combination of adding chips plus multipliers to feed into our ×2, ×3, times a bunch. 10 copies of Heiress now up in the consumable slot. Pretty unstoppable. We completely stuff up there and don't play a flush 5. there was a king of spades hiding in amongst all those king of clubs. So we only got 300,000. We've got a death and a fool here to choose from. And most likely we're going to go with the death and get rid of one of these fives. Make another shiny king of clubs. And the deck is really starting to look good. Tempted by strength for a moment, but moving on immediately. Discard that pesky king of spades that we got tricked by last time. It looked like a club hiding on the end there, but it wasn't. 27 million. Oh boy. And we get another negative joker, which we're obviously just going to buy because it doesn't take up any room and it does give us some ancillary benefits. So we'd get another heiress, crank that up, get a buffoon. And even if the buffoon is empty, which this one really is, we got a free card, which is $1, and that adds up. The Eternal Madness is kind of cute because it obviously can't destroy itself or any of our other Eternal cards. So in another run, the Madness might actually be quite useful. And then we just... I think we are playing a little bit too quickly here. 43 million? Get out of here. But we're still not optimizing our hands. We're not discarding enough. We're just going with the first five of a kind that we fall into. So we get a blueprint here, an Eternal blueprint, and we have a big think about what we could possibly sell. And we realize that we could buy this blueprint and copy the Perkio. And doesn't that mean that we get 2 copies of Eris every hand? Blueprint is compatible with Perkio, which is just so exciting. Just beside myself with that. We're going to use the Hanged Man and get rid of some junk, including that 9. Given the rest were all kings of clubs, and that's really where we want to end up. We fool into another Hanged Man, strip a few more cards. We're down to 41 cards in the deck. Make a bit more money off the Temperance. A couple of re-rolls, see if we can't score another negative joker, and then we're off. And it did work. So Blueprint copied Perkio, and we're now up to 14 copies of Eris. Out of this world, literally. I'm not really even sure where Eris is. Is it like, it's a dwarf planet out with Pluto? Looks like Hammamea. And we win the round. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This has been beating the blue stakes with the red deck and trying to unlock all of the decks. But if you do want to hang out and keep watching, it does get kind of stupid. We Wheel of Fortune and get lucky again and make our 3 of a kind rare joker into a foil version of itself. So that's free. We go for another one and miss. So you can't win them all, but like I said, if you just keep cranking on them, then eventually you're going to get there. A couple of free re-rolls. We consider the Empress and then we go on. So we've now got 16 copies of Eris, which is just nuts. It's just free money. We consider discarding and then we just go, what are we doing with our lives? Let's just play the 5 of a kind. Let's just get 203 million and unlock the 100 million. Just like that. We get the achievement. We unlock a joker. Very excited by that. And here we go. We're off into the endless version now. Empress, improve a few cards, go for a couple of re-rolls. Keep us around $100 so that we will get max interest every round. Just keep our income up. We get 5 shiny King of Clubs. One of them's got a multiplier on it. And all of those, 574 million points. Just nuts. Temperance into free money, couple of re-rolls, and then we've got 20 copies of Eris in our deck, in our consumable area. So we've got 41 cards in our deck and 20 cards in our consumable area. Let's see if we can get our consumable area bigger than our deck. 1.5 billion points. So we tripled our previous round score just like that. Let's get a discount voucher. Cheap is always better. Into Arcana. The Abstract Joker gave us a free card. So we can just sell that one. And then we're going to strength these jacks into queens. They're both clubs already. And that means they're one step away from kings. It's certainly the hard way. It's certainly the long way to go about making kings, but we can fix them. Tempted by the Onyx Agate, given that we're all clubs, but there's not really any room for it. Given the tension between the eternal cards and the negative cards, we just don't have any room. It's got to be better than a foil ×3, basically, and that's hard to beat. So here we are, back into a 5 flush, mega score with 22 heiresses, 2.8 billion now, and we're off and racing. Out of control, heiress in every celestial pack, Arcana pack. We got the Hierophant off the Abstract Joker. We can use that to make these bonus cards, strip out a few cards with the Hangman, and now we're down to 39 cards in the deck, 22 cards in the consumable. We get another lucky Wheel of Fortune, and another one of our eternal Jokers is improved. Very exciting, super pumped. Heading into the big blind, triggering Perkio again. We're up to 25 copies of Eris, and it doesn't look like there's any way we're stopping. Playing another 5 flush, 2 multi-cards in there, and a casual 8 billion point hand. So at this point I'm going to speed the recording up a bit because all the hands start to be pretty similar, and you basically get the gist at this point that we're going to just keep playing Jokers, we're going to keep getting Heiresses, we're going to keep playing 5 of a kinds, and we're going to go from there. So again, 5 of a kind, loads and loads of points, 13 billion points. We cash out, we buy the paintbrush. We'd love to get a ramen bowl, but again, we can't fit it on the Joker stack, so we just have to go with what we've got. We get an Heiress, once again, 2 Heiresses. We do have 1 tarot card hiding in there that we're going to use in a moment. We again played the odds that Perkio wasn't about to steal, well, wasn't going to copy that one, and we weren't going to waste an Heiress round. We get 2 Heiresses, which is just great. Back into a new one. Discarding a few hands, just trimming down, trying to find that 5 of a kind, and there it is once again. Buy an Heiress, rinse and repeat. We're just going to keep milking this for as long as we can. We do have that 1 tarot card still hiding in there, and here it is. We found a queen, so we're going to strengthen those into the king. Like I said, a pretty long-winded way to get a king, but any port in a storm. Seed money, we'll try and keep maximizing our passive income. We get medium purple seal, kind of random, but a little bit more utility for the cards we're always going to be discarding. So certainly not the worst thing in the world. Not all of the cards in our deck are kings, so now here we have a phenomenal card. We have Brainstorm. Now it copies the leftmost card, not the card to the left, so it's not the opposite of Blueprint. It copies the leftmost card. And we make a pretty difficult decision. We decide to sell our foil 3 of a kind card. But now we're getting 3 Heiresses every turn. So that seems like a compounding bonus that is worth selling that 1 card for. So now we've got triple Perkio. And we've got 35 Heiress in our consumable area and 39 cards in our deck. There's a very real chance that we're going to have more cards in our consumable area than our deck. We pass up on another Buffoon pack, start a new round, triple Heiress, and off we go. We're even discarding King of Clubs now. Our deck is so greedy that we can afford to just discard everything. 1.095 E12. Our scores are so big now they've got letters in them. Hack's wonderful, but he's not going to work for this deck. Look at all our vouchers. We're going off. We didn't unlock the extra blank voucher, so that's a shame. That's probably the only thing we didn't achieve in this run. Looking for shiny kings now. We are actually trying to maximize our points as we head into the danger zone. But honestly, nothing really dangerous here. Nothing can hurt us now. Nothing can stop me. We're going to sell our errant tarot cards that the abstract joker keeps making for us. And we get the extra tarot card into a strength, which finally makes those queens into kings. And now I think our deck is more than half kings. More than half king of clubs as well, which is pretty crazy. Heiress into 7.2 blah blahs. Gajillion, badillion points. Something like that. It's a highly technical number, but I'm a bear of very little brain, so I can't tell you what it is. But it's scientific notation. Basically a way to write big numbers without using lots of space. This music's kind of funky when you get it up to triple speed. Oh boy. Alrighty. 1.26 E11. Bonus cards from the Empress. Discard a few pieces of junk. We keep a king of clubs back because I think we start to fear the scenario where eventually we do just statistically we have to whiff, right? Statistically we have to get a point where we don't draw all of our king of clubs. Serpent I think is one of my favorite big blind bosses. Because you can just discard one and draw three and draw as many cards as you want to and then just make the perfect hand. It's wonderful. Buy another voucher, get more planet cards, which is going to work for us well. Sell off the errant tarot card again. And the invisible joker is great, but there's nothing we can use it on. So instead we head into the next round. We've got a live hanged man. We'll use that. Discard some cards, get another tarot card for $1. Everything counts. Every dollar counts. Cost of living crisis is a very real thing, so let's just keep that cash flow rolling in. Get a Hierophant, knowing we're going to get extra cards here. Make them into bonus cards. And then we kind of run out of steam here. We've got another Empress we could use. And we just turn the 10 into a lucky 10. Why not? Hopefully it'll be lucky for us and we'll draw it in every opening hand so we can discard it for a tarot card. Once more, you'll never guess, 5 of a kind. We've got 56 heiresses in our consumable area. Just out of control. We're up to round 46, anti-level 14. We could destroy all our jokers. Let's not do that. Talisman, we're going to add a gold seal because why not? There's nothing else really good out of that spectral cards. Look at all those kings. What an opening hand. Straight into the flush 5. 59 heiress later, and we're up to 5 point something nonsense cards. That would have been great, huh? We just can't fit it in. We just can't fit it in. 4 times multiplier, but we just can't fit it in. So instead, we have to pass on it, which sucks. If we didn't have Eternal Jokers, we absolutely would have snapped it up, but we just play the cards we're dealt. And other empty platitudes. Agonizing here over which flush 5 to play, because this is the first time we've had to play 2 hands in about 30 rounds. And we have to play 4 hands. So there we go. We played more hands. But we're only up to E16 and we need E17. Backstreak's back, alright? So we play it and we don't even get a flush 5 on the last hand. And that is that. That's the end of the game. That's our high score. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We're live on Twitch all the time, so come and check us out. Thanks for watching.